Fabiola and Diego Baraona, welcome to the Map It Forward podcast.
Thank you so much for having us, Lee. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Lee, for having us in this platform. Is really exciting for us to share our story, share everything we have to say about all.
I'm the one who's honored to have you guys. For people who don't know, your father was the great Gilberto Baraona, and may he rest in peace. And it is just such a pleasure to have you guys who are his legacy, because he came on this podcast. This was his last public appearance, and he talked a lot about legacy, and you guys are his legacy. And so he passed from COVID, and, you know, it was about a year ago that he came on the podcast. And so for me, it is just a thrill and an honor to have the two of you joining us and having a conversation about what the future for the very bright future for you guys is ahead, and how you're going to carry on that legacy and whatever else we end up talking about. So I guess we start by, what does it feel like to be responsible for I mean, you guys are now the fifth generation, right?
I think we're six actually now.
Sixth generation.
Yeah, it's a long story or history behind the farm, but it's really exciting. Honestly, life is really weird in a way, because I mean, I was hoping to do this like later in my life, maybe like in 4 or 6 years, but like life just like throws you like these curveballs. But it's really cool to have like these challenges, because they make you prove yourself to yourself, you know. So it's such a cool thing to have, you know.
I'm no stranger to doing hard shit, so I absolutely I can absolutely identify with that, and it's a reason why I'm absolutely on your cheer squad for both of you, because life throws this shit at you.
Yeah.
We have our little friend here.
We have a new person joining the conversation. Who's this?
So this is Kali.
She wants to share her struggles in life.
Well, please tell us. Please share with us your For anyone who's just listening, we've had a beautiful puppy join us on the podcast, who's just saying, yo, like, when do I get to talk?
Kali, she always needs like a lot of attention.
Yeah.
She's
It's not your turn, Kali. You can leave that.
How fantastic is that?
Yes.
Oh dear. So as I was saying, like, we're here, Map It Forward is a part of your cheer squad, because you guys are taking over such a mammoth task from, you know, your dad was an industry giant.
Yeah.
And I have nothing but amazing things to say about your dad, just because he and I spoke just a couple of times, and immediately you could feel like he was like the industry's father. You know what I mean? He's just got this way of being a dad to everybody he talks to.
Yeah.
But he's also so incredibly passionate about coffee, and something that he said on this podcast is, Lee, COVID is going to let you know if you are in coffee for coffee or if you love coffee.
Yeah.
And it's definitely done that for you guys, I guess.
Yes. And one thing he always said, I think he went through so many hardships in his life that when you spoke with him, he genuinely can speak from his heart and say, this work, he was vulnerable in a lot of situations in his life, and he talks about that, and how you were saying, like, something so big as COVID that affected us like in many ways. He took that as an opportunity and said, this is gonna last, but he was more motivated, like how he could keep on innovating himself, and how he said that in family history people had a lot of issues like pests, money problems, and all of that. People went, and this was COVID. It was a pandemic, and he took it as another obstacle, but that he knew that it was another opportunity for him to keep on fighting.
I think
So
coffee
true.
for him was like an escape. I feel like he finally found like what he really wanted to do with his life, and I think he
Yeah.
was really happy. Like because of all like the hardships the business can bring, I don't think he didn't care that much, but he was so happy that he just like pushed through all those
Yeah.
things because it was his passion.
He called it, I was so fascinated when he said this. He said, Lee, COVID is a black swan. And I said to him, what do you mean by that? He said, it's one of those things that you very, very rarely see it. But when you see it, you remember that moment the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It gives me chills just remembering when he and I were talking about it. And he was, I mean, I loved the candor with which he and I had that conversation, because I hope you guys don't mind me saying, in the couple of conversations that I've had with you guys, I see him speaking in you, your genuineness in the way that you show up for the conversations that we've had. You guys are, thank you for being great supporters of our new podcast, the Map Forward Middle East podcast. We're so grateful to have you a part of that project. We're looking forward to sending, new people that haven't been exposed to Los Pirineos. I hope to hell I've said it right.
You said it. You got it.
Excellent. That's an Australian using some of her Arabic to try and say something in Spanish. But it's our honor to be able to expose people in the Arab lands to your coffee, and to hopefully help drive forward the legacy with all the great processing methods that he was very passionate about, that you could see through his Instagram, that it was such a big deal for him.
I mean, like you mentioned, like we do have like a Goliath of a task, but in a way, like having people like you, like we feel like so supported. Like we know like we have like a lot of people here in the country and outside in the whole world that are supporting us. So like that like makes us feel like more confident and with more support. It makes the task seem like a bit easier.
Look, I'm confident that the task ahead of you is monstrous, but at the same time, I'm confident that you guys have got this.
Yeah.
I really believe that in my heart, that you guys have got this. You've got, a massive group of people around the world who are conspiring to your success, and we want to see you guys do great, and in any way that we can. Sorry?
I like the quote, conspiring to your success.
Yes,
I like
it's kind of our jam, right?
Yeah.
And we live by it, just because we feel that in the coffee industry, and in the 20 years that I've been in the coffee industry, we use this word community a lot, but are we really there like that? Really? So I want to be the change that I want to see.
Yeah.
So this is me doing that. Now, when we talk about a Goliath task ahead of you guys, what is ahead of you guys? Like, what is it like to have to take over such an operation and sit there and say, okay, where do we start?
That's a really good question. Okay, let me start with my initial fear of taking over this task. One was like, am I wearing an extra large shirt and I'm a small shirt?
Well, there was a bit of a size difference between you and your brother. He was let's say he was a healthy man.
The way I'm thinking, like, am I capable of like maintaining like the same quality of coffee? Can I maintain that same like image, like all that? I was like capable of like pushing on and carrying on his legacy and quality and all that. But like I think like overall, like what I've tasted so far from our coffees, I would say I'm really satisfied. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I mean, we can do this.
Because it's the three of you, right? It's you guys and your mum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please give her my regards.
Yeah.
And what my brother was saying, one of the most challenging when this happened to us, it was like, what is the first thing we have to do?
Yeah.
Like get in touch with our clients. Like my dad was like, he always spoke like, when I die, I'm gonna leave you this. He was always that type of person. Like he was always, well, I'm going to share. Even when my brother went to do his master's, he took my brother to the airport and he said, Diego, if something happens, if I die, you have to do this, 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 and this. And this was
He was always talking about his death. I don't know.
But in a way that he was proud that he was leaving us with this project.
Yeah.
That we
it's his succession plan, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's weird. Like I think I told you on the first call. Like he kind of knew, and then I think it's kind of beautiful in a way. Like he so visionary in coffee that he also could vision that. I mean, it's scary and at the same time, but like he gave me really good advice before like that happened, because I was away in Barcelona at the moment, so it was hard because I couldn't be here. I couldn't come back to the country maybe 4 months after his death. So
oh wow, Diego, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
Actually, 2 days after he passed away, I had to present my thesis, my project.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We were both out. It was only my mother here. We were both out of the
country. Only our mother was here. So it was a really complicated, really confusing moment in time.
Dream. It was like a dream. So when this happened, I called my brother and we were like, the clients, like our dad's coffee friends. That's what he called them.
Yeah. His coffee friends.
Coffee friends, yeah.
His coffee friends. And we got a list of all the coffee friends. We knew some because they always came here to visit the farm and always in contact. But we went through all of the emails and we sent an email to each of them like, we're here, we're taking charge, we're doing everything my dad did. Nothing's changed. Of course, we're thinking about innovating, thinking about new processes, new ways to do things, get supported by other people. But for now, we were like, let's do things like my dad did it. So we were like, what would Gilberto do in this situation? And that's what I think my brother's been. He's the one more involved in the processing and being on top of the coffee. And that's what I think my brother always says, what would my dad do, but how can I do it better? And I think he's doing a really good job in that.
So how is it, like, who's taking care of what? Actually, let's take a step back before that. What did you each study?
Okay. Yeah, that was another point. I studied marketing.
Okay.
Like public relations. So my dad always said, when I die, he always said that.
He was a true visionary, wasn't he?
Here in El Salvador, we have the representation of the Green Pro bags, hermetic solution bags that we put into.
Yep, I saw that on Instagram yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done.
We're
marketing.
So because I studied marketing and public relations and all of that digital marketing, he was like, if I die, you're gonna do this. And it's something I really like about like promoting and putting out like sales and how to get to the digital world. So he always said that, and it's amazing because I'm doing that right now and helping my brother in that area. So we have distribution of those bags, and also my cupping with my brother, learning how to distinct our own coffees, learning about our own products, because we drink our coffee at home, but with all the exotic varieties my dad started planting and all the processing, it's amazing. We're learning what we're selling, and it's really, really, really amazing.
Because you've got to now go from being the children of a coffee producer to learning all the skills behind the scenes of being coffee producers and exporters and marketers and all of that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, like we both are. I'll say like we are young, and I feel like we've like been through this big challenge. But I see it. There's no other job in the world that's going to give you this kind of experience. You know, I feel like it's no. So I feel like we're gonna. Yeah, college is nothing compared.
You're in the real college now, folks.
I'm gonna teach you how to do all this, but I feel like this is like the best academy or the best school,
education, right?
It's education. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I come home really stressed or I want to cry, but it's so worth it. It's really rewarding when things really go well, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of the time they're not gonna. Like
Exactly.
your dad was saying, he said, for the first time, I have to go to the bank and tell them that we can't make the payments.
Yeah.
That's just business. Like
Yeah.
money. So many people measure their mark of success as how much money they have.
Nah.
I mean, you guys are going to know this very, very quickly.
Yeah.
There are so many other currencies that are the measure of success than money. Money's a resource. It's going to help you fulfill the things that you want to fulfill. But the things like the relationships that your dad built that are now your relationships, you know, people wanting to step up and say, hey, how can I help you? How can I be there to help you guys become the monsters that you want to be in a great way? The monsters of the industry, the giants, the Goliaths, the huge representatives for your industry locally and then globally. And how can you pave a path for the people that are going to come after you?
Also for the next coffee grower generation here in the country, maybe like also I feel like that's also like a good thing to like.
Are you excited about the future, or are you completely terrified by the future? Or both?
I would say both.
I hear. Fabiola's looking up into her mind and thinking, oh man, I have so many.
I've learned like in the past, I'd say 4 months, and I actually told this a friend last week. Once you lose the fear of failure, you are unstoppable. Because sometimes entrepreneur like that, it's hard to beat that fear. Like what if you just gotta go with it.
Yeah. If I could offer you anything on that, it's in all the coaching that I do a lot of entrepreneurial coaching and small business coaching. And the one thing I tell every single one of them, get comfortable with the discomfort.
Yeah.
It's constantly going to be uncomfortable. And the moment you can embrace that, you have conquered the fear.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you've got one foot in excitement and one foot in terrified, you've found your groove.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll be fine. You've already, in my mind, the fact that you've decided to take on the challenge, you've already conquered the fear.
Yeah.
You guys are you're gonna crush it. You are crushing it already, simply because you're not turning away and saying, oh, I have no idea how to do this, so we'll just sell it and fuck off and count our money, you know. Like it's going to be hard. You are doing this so much younger than you should have. Your dad should have been here for many more decades. But that's not, I mean, COVID, none of us left 2020 whole, right?
No.
And now we have what we have ahead of us. So what are you excited about?
What are you excited about right now?
Yeah, Fabiola, what are you excited about, Fabiola?
Well, I'm really excited to start. Well, we're late March. We're gonna start sending the samples to our clients. So I feel like I'm really excited to see their reaction. How are they tasting our coffees? Because they're clients that, well, coffee friends. My dad called them coffee friends. Or coffee friends. They're they know what our coffee tastes like, and I know every harvest is slightly different. But I'm really excited to see their reaction and hear their feedback, because that's the only way we're gonna either improve or grow. And I feel like that's what we need to receive from them, their honest opinion. And I'm excited because I feel that getting feedback, honest feedback, is you need it to grow. So I feel like I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. That's
For me,
awesome.
I'm excited to see what we can do different, or like what can we innovate in the coming years. And also,
you are your father's son. He was all about it.
Always like trying to change things every single day. And I was actually, we sent our first sample last week, and I was so, I don't know, it's a funny thing. I was so happy to see, like, for the first time on the sample bag, like seeing my name as a producer.
Yeah, wow.
It was really, it was weird in a way. I was like, wow, okay, so this is actually happening. So it was.
Make sure you capture those moments on your own, on your phone. Like, just talk to yourself about what this moment feels like.
Yeah.
And like as a little letter to the future version of yourself.
Yeah.
It really, like I've been doing that for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And when I find old phones and I go through them and I find these little messages and remember, like, because I used to be in the music industry and I saw the video. Sorry?
I'm a guitarist. I play
Oh,
guitar.
excellent. And so I used to release albums and I was looking through old phones and I would see videos of me in the studio, you know, recording a little message to myself saying, hey, Lee, you are so scared right now.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but we're going to do it. And then I scroll to a later date and see me talking to myself about the release of that album.
Yeah.
And how I felt. Like, make sure that you document, even if it's just to yourself, how great and how terrified you are right now and what it feels like, and you know what the journey ahead is, so that future versions of you look back at it and go, wow, I was such a little cute terrified entrepreneur. Oh, isn't that cute?
Yeah, I had no idea what's going on.
It's amazing the way that you can look back at yourself and think, and it's not until you see that that you look at it and think, man, have I grown up? And it's really important to have that just for yourself.
I mean, like now I'm comparing to like, I mean, because exactly a year ago they locked us up in Barcelona in Spain, and I'm like, wow, how did I think things a year ago? How did I behave a year ago? What was I doing a year ago? And like, it's so different. I feel different. I feel very different with like everything that has happened
in what way?
I feel with more confidence.
Nice.
I finally have been able to be more honest with myself in making decisions. You know, decisions that I made without like being afraid what others think. Just thinking by myself. So that's.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to really step up now, both of you. Now you're responsible for not only the financial survival of the business, but you're responsible for a workforce, and you're responsible for, you know, you stand on the shoulders of the people that came before you and your family and who had these farms. And now there's this weird kind of awesome pressure to try and you know, not do them proud, but leave your mark. In whatever way you've chosen to leave your mark. And I don't know if this is correct. Are you guys the youngest to take on this task in your line of family?
I think so.
I think we are. Yeah.
Which is really exciting, right? You've got a longer time ahead of you.
Yeah.
Exactly, to really influence the legacy of your lineage.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
It is. It's a long road, a really long road. Like, and so many things are going to happen. I think we have like a really big field to like catch up with the things. And
Fabiola, what were you going to say?
And one of the things I think we were most terrified. Well, my dad, he gave jobs to, gave jobs to a lot of people. And he has this amazing team, and we have all the coffee pickers, coffee everyone in the farm, and we were like, how are we gonna assure these people that they're gonna still have their payroll, they're still gonna have their job. We're gonna take over the company, because when this happened we were not in the country and there was no one in the face to the business. It was only my father's team, but the one who made decisions was my father. So we were like that, like 5 months. And we couldn't
5 months,
5 months without going to the farm. We didn't know what was going on. We just knew about like secondhand communication. So it was really hard because we really wanted to be here, but we couldn't come here because of
COVID. Where were you, Fabiola?
I graduated from college in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where were you?
TCU Horned Frogs in Fort Worth, Dallas.
I bet you're glad you're not in Texas right now, or the last couple of weeks.
It's snowing like crazy. It's life's I don't want to say perfect timing, because it's not perfect timing, but it was a time that we both could come here and we finish our education. One of the things my dad always said, I'm leaving you my legacy, and I gave you education. If I die, he always said that.
Oh wow.
If I die, you have your education, and I'm giving you one of my life's project.
Yeah, wow. What's wrong, Fabiola? The way that you looked at him was like the dog is doing something.
My dog
is freaking out. Or is it the dog's turn to talk?
It's the other dog's turn.
The other dog.
You have 2 dogs. There's like 5 puppies there actually right now.
Wow.
crazy.
So when it comes to, I'm making the assumption, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have grown up around everything that your father was doing, but producing is not something that you explicitly understand.
Personally, I mean, I knew the coffee world. I took classes. I learned from my dad, but I've never like been in charge. I've never like had any like experience in producing and like running the mill and all that. So that was one of the fears I had, like, am I capable of doing this if I've never done it? Like, can I maintain and run this business it's already advanced and all that? But like I have a really good, I mean, we have a really good team that's helping us and really supportive. Like they've been like teaching me a lot of things. I like learn a lot from them. I ask them a lot of questions. I take their advice a lot. And that's been like a huge tool to us. It's been awesome.
Leadership is something that, one, I'm fascinated about, but two, is it's a learnt kind of thing, but there's also an innate, some of us just have an innate ability to lead.
Yeah.
How have you both, being thrust into a leadership position, how have you guys embraced that, and what challenges have you experienced in, I mean, your dad just garnered like this respect from the people around him, right? And Diego, you were talking about this extra large shirt. What role is the challenge of stepping into leadership and getting people's respect? How challenging is that?
It's hard. Like, it's like going to the farm and like having people like have your confidence, all that. Like, it's a process. I know I'm not gonna win like their confidence like in a day or two. It's gonna take a while, but I feel like by going like being consistent, asking them, being with them, hearing them out, learning from them. I feel like that's really important. Like validation. I feel like it's been really important. But yeah, it's also scary because I was also scared at some point. Like, are the workers gonna respect me? Are they gonna take me seriously? You know, like I was really afraid of that. But I think so far, I think it's going well. But
I'm a witness. It's going well.
Fabiola's like, I'm crushing leadership.
I'm a witness that.
No, girl, crush leadership. Own that shit. I mean, because that's one of those things that you never really know 100%. Are people being respectful to your face and saying something different behind your back? And do they really believe you? And do they trust you? And are they on board? And right?
Yeah, but I feel like by being consistent, like I was saying, and like I'm asking them for their advice, what do they think, all that. Like I feel like it's really important.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you guys don't know.
Yeah.
And you have access to people that know a lot of what you don't know. So being able to go to them and say, hey, listen, you guys are the experts. We're here to support you. Let's learn together. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
When you say that you're excited to innovate, what do you got cooking?
Oof. Actually, no idea yet.
That makes sense.
I'm still like trying to see what can we innovate with. I mean, it's obviously like with processing, like different ways of seeking different attributes in coffee. Uh, Actually, I don't know what we're gonna do, but like I feel like that's where we are headed, like trying to like innovate in processing.
Because Diego, what did you study in
My
Barcelona?
college in business, I went to college called Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts. Then I did my master's in Barcelona in SAP. Have you heard about
Oh,
this?
that's right. We had
Yeah,
that
yeah.
conversation,
It's
didn't we?
nothing to do with coffee.
No. We had
Nothing-
that nerdiness, accounting software and all of that.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's such a unique skill set that you guys have around everything that you're doing. And, you know, about 2 years ago, when the coffee price crisis became a real big topic of conversation on this podcast, and we started to witness, I was living in San Diego at the time, and there was a real big concern of the caravan of people that were coming up through Central and South America, heading towards the American southern border. And a lot of the people in those caravans were from the coffee producing community.
Yeah.
And what they were finding was that the next generation of coffee farmers or coffee producers had decided that because of the coffee price crisis, it made no sense to continue producing coffee. So to see you guys as the next generation with a new skill set that will superpower even what your dad was doing.
Yeah.
Are you looking at this and saying, we bring a unique perspective as the next generation that's doing this? Or is it, we don't know if this is going to be another version of pushing it up, pushing things uphill?
It's a good question.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, in the short answer, I feel like yes, we are bringing different things because we come from really different I mean, we don't have experience in the coffee world as producers, so I feel like we bring like different skills and like different perspectives, and I feel like that's gonna maybe bring out a different product in the end.
Yeah.
Different, like say, a company business. So that's exciting. Yeah.
And the fact that we're young and we're gonna face a lot of people in this industry that we know that they know a lot of more than we do. But we are people that we really like to listen to others' advices. And I feel that's a really, really important quality that we have, because we're not here to say, oh, we know everything, because we know that we don't know everything, but we're open, we're learning. And as my brother said, think it's grateful that my dad, he had a really, really good supportive team, and they're still with us right now. And they're like, hey, come over here, and I'll teach you how to do this and this. So they're really, they really want us to take over, and that give us more support.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you guys, I don't know if you're across it yet, but how are you guys feeling about this issue about the sea market? Are you across the issue with coffee, the coffee price crisis?
Yeah, with the stock price and then
how low it is, how it's lower than the cost of production. I'm sure you guys, having studied business and marketing, are sitting there scratching your heads thinking, hold on, how is this allowed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because that issue or crisis has really taken a toll on a lot of producers here in the country. Like a lot of farms like near us have been abandoned. I mean, near us in the whole country, like, and because it's all a price crisis, like it's not profitable to produce coffee and sell it at that price. Like it makes no sense. It's scary. So that's why we have to like really push through and achieve for like quality and stay in the niche market of gourmet coffee, basically coffee. Yeah.
So that's the strategy moving forward. Is you've got to get into the upper echelons of that.
Yeah.
Which is why we're so excited to have you guys as a part of the Middle East podcast, because, that's where the next boom is happening for the upper echelons of specialty. So that's going to be really great. Do you guys produce any commodity commercial coffee?
We do a little bit, but not, I would say like we have like maybe like 3 segments, like the like the high market lots, maybe like the regionals, maybe like 83s to say to 85 score, and then like maybe like the 80 to 82, 83, like that range, but it's always above 80.
Okay, so you're technically all specialty.
Yeah, all specialty. Yeah.
Okay, great. I want to see if I can speak to some more producers this year that are producing, below 80 in the commodity market, because I have no idea how they're going to survive given the sea market continues to fall. And with the challenges of climate shifting and COVID, it's just an ongoing battle if you're not mechanized, right?
Yeah, like right now, I feel like it's a perfect storm. It's a lot of issues. Like the world is on fire right now. COVID, like economic crisis, like the sea. It's chaotic.
Except here in Australia, I have to tell you, it is an absolute mindfuck being in Australia right now.
Because I saw news that there are concerts going on in Australia. I'm jealous, but like, what are you doing? Like, what's the secret?
So Australia got onto it very quickly. So what they did, remember, we're an island. So, it's a little easier for us to protect our borders here. But what they did was they closed all the state borders when COVID hit, and they eliminated all the cases in each of the states. And at the same time, they closed the international borders. And if you wanted to come into the country, you had to be a citizen or a permanent resident and be able to prove that. And then you had to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so you have to pay for your own quarantine. It's $3,000 in a hotel. And it's all managed by the government. The military picks you up they have special buses that pick you up at the airport. Take 100% of people that arrive in this country have to go through this process. There is virtually no exceptions. Even for the Australian Open, Serena Williams and all of the big tennis players, they had to go through it as well about a month ago when they came. So you come into the country, you go into hotel quarantine, and the planes are only allowed 40 people per person.
Wow, so they're
including the crew.
Wow, so like maybe like 35 passengers probably.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's almost like where I was sitting on the plane, there was 4 rows ahead of me empty and 4 rows behind me empty. It was pretty crazy. And then you arrive here, the military take you to the hotel and they lock you in your room and you're not allowed out for 14 days.
Wow.
But because they've done that, you get 2 COVID tests while you're in there. And once you have proven that 2 days before you leave, you're COVID free, then you're allowed into the community. And now the only place you have to wear a mask is on public transport. Everywhere else,
no mask.
No masks, not in supermarkets, not even if you're working in supermarkets. If you're a barista, you don't have to wear a mask. Nobody wears a mask.
I forgot about that life.
Yeah.
It feels very strange.
Feels strange now,
Sometimes I'm watching movies and I see like concerts and I'm like, why are they wearing a mask? Like,
that was pre-2020. That movie was made pre-2020. Or when someone shakes hands or when they hug you. Here, people, because we kiss hello in Australia.
Yeah.
Here, I'm freaking out every time someone just walks up to you and gives you a hug and kisses you hello. I'm like, whoa, like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's like, this is very, very strange behavior because I spent the pandemic in San Diego. And so coming here and cafes are open and restaurants are open, and we're about to launch myself and 5 other colleagues of mine, we're launching the Sydney Coffee Town Hall. That's going to be an in-person event that however many that want to come can come. And I'm like, I can't believe we can actually do this in person and it's not going to be a Zoom thing. We're going to turn up and everyone's going to be able to just have pizza together and have coffee together and just what? So strange. So strange.
Really surreal.
It's very surreal.
Yeah.
And speaking about COVID, what's it like for you guys in El Salvador, and what's it like trying to produce coffee during the time of COVID?
There's some uncertainty maybe in our European market because like we're very aware like Europe right now is maybe like really struggling with COVID. So like we're kind of afraid like are we gonna have the same demand of our coffees there? Are we gonna like supply the same coffee, you know? So like that's kind of scary. But like so far like we're happy like our like clients have responded and like they're gonna maintain the same quantity, but like that level of uncertainty can be really scary, right?
What's the logistically, what's it like on the, like, first of all, producing coffee and getting pickers and getting people to help process the coffee, and then what's it like to move coffee around the country to ports and things like that?
So right now we haven't really moved coffee to ports at the moment, but it's always mask on. The farm, it's open, like there's no like high risk of like having like in like infections, but maybe like when we are carrying our coffee from like the higher parts of the farm to the mill, it's always like at least like 2 at most at the car. So like we're
Wow.
really like have like less people like
Crowded,
crowded at the farm. So that's a logistic.
And does your workforce live on the farm, or
They live nearby towns.
so they're able to come to your? Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great, because I know I think it was in Honduras that they couldn't get pickers.
Really? Wow.
Because you could only get pickers that were, maybe it was Colombia actually. I can't remember who I was having the conversation with, where they said the big challenge was because the pickers are migratory, they move with the harvest, and they couldn't this last year. They couldn't move with the harvests. So there were some regions of Colombia that couldn't get pickers. Whoever was local.
Yeah, I mean we're lucky because we have like 3 main towns nearby, so like we get like a lot of like good people who want to work. So that's really cool. We have Berlin, Alegría, and Santiago Maria, which are like the main towns nearby. So like there's a lot of people like want to go in and work and coffee pick.
How do you manage being COVID safe? Like, do you have a regulatory body? How does that all work?
We have like stations with sanitizers, masks,
temperature,
everything. Like
who sets the rules?
We do.
So do you get told by a government body what the standards are?
Yeah, standards. Yeah, so we have like signs at the mill. Like it's like having like a maybe like the usual signs of like safety.
Oh yeah.
All that.
And also we do a lot of like local tourism. Like we said, like we have like 3 different main cities, so like our farm is like a learning experience to a lot of young people. And that's what also we started to put like the COVID protocol for all these people that are visiting our farm, and it's safe for them and our workers. So that's when we can say it gets a little crowded, but it's always open air. So
you guys are receiving visitors at the farm, local visitors?
Yeah,
yes.
Very limited, but yeah.
That's awesome.
And small groups, yeah.
Small groups.
Yeah.
And what's that experience like? What happens when they come to the farm?
So basically, like show them around like plantations, the mill, the view, all the.
Well, hey, that's a multi-million-dollar view. That is really such a nice view.
Yeah, hopefully you can come here and visit.
We would love to have you over here.
sometime.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to come and see that view and to hang out with you and have a coffee and meet your mum. That would be a lot of fun.
Maybe she's upstairs actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Call her so we can say hi. Well, if she's not in her nightie and in bed.
I was about to say that she's probably in her PJs.
She's probably in her PJs. You know,
we have told her about you and
awesome. She's so the bravery of having to go through what she's gone through and then have to face what's ahead and support you guys and be the champion and powerhouse that she is. I mean, you don't get a man like your father be who he is without the most incredible partner in the world. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And often it's the people behind the powerhouses that never get seen. You know, they never get recognized.
Yeah.
And so I really, really look forward to the day that I can sit down and just have a really long conversation with your mom and just get to know her, because she's got to be an incredible woman to have, you know, raise kids like you that are just so ready for this and like you, and you're not going into this blindly saying, yeah, this is going to be easy.
No, that we know it's going to be hard.
You can see the terror and excitement in your faces.
We know already that it is hard. So.
Yeah, but like most people, the pandemic has forged who you're going to become.
Yeah.
You know, it really has determined your future. And you could have easily turned around and said, nah. As we say here in Australia, nah.
Actually, the best lesson I learned in college wasn't academic. It was like, if you want to grow as a human being, a person, step out of your comfort zone. That's like
do hard shit.
Do hard shit, yeah.
I live by that. Whenever somebody says to me like, Lee, I think I'm a little bit comfortable in my life and I'd like to challenge myself, I'm like, all right, find the hardest thing that you can cope with right now and go do it.
Yeah.
And also, like, just never stay with a what if, you know, like what if you never tried, or I feel
don't
like
die with the music in you.
Yes, those what ifs are like, they can kill you, because like you always you have that gut feeling that what if you have tried, what if you step up and get the courage, and I feel like we're doing that. What if we try, and I think we're doing a pretty good job.
What are some of the what ifs that are ahead of you, do you think?
You mean like what if we try this and
yeah, you know, there's going to be a path ahead of you that is totally unknown. You know what the canvas kind of looks like. You understand that it's going to be in coffee. You're producing coffee, but what are some of the, you know, what ifs? What if we try this and what if we try that? Not from an innovation perspective necessarily, but like, you know, growing the farm.
Yeah.
Bringing on board more, like, can you expand the land mass? Can you, you know, all these kinds of things. What are some of the what ifs that are ahead of you, do you think?
I would say one of them would be like, what if we expand the land? Like, because there are like nearby farms that
abandoned.
So like, what if we acquire them or buy them? You know, what if we invest in more land? I mean, can we support it? Is it a good investment? Like all that. So that's a what if on my end.
Expanding, and like my father talked about how he loved innovation, and we have really exotic varieties that they're really, really unique on our farm. And well, this year, is it the second year that they're
the orange
harvesting? Yes, like
the orange
Pacamara.
Pacamaras, we have Kenyas, we have Harar, we have Rume Sudan. So all those varieties, they're really, really unique. Like I think we're the only farm here in El Salvador we have those varieties.
Wow.
And it's amazing that what if we grow more of that, and we're 3 years ahead of the production of those types of coffee, because it takes 3 years to 4 years for the plant to give the coffee. So I feel like, what if we expand on those varieties? It's not what you see here in El Salvador, and send it to new markets and all that. So I feel like those exotic varieties are, my brother loves those varieties. He's always trying new
I
new.
love the Frankenstein always.
You should have done a degree in genetics,
I
plant
know.
genetics. It's a lot of fun, I tell you that much.
That was a lot of fun.
With regards to the what if, Fabiola, you being in marketing, I'd love to ask if you've thought of any what ifs with regards to technology.
Like digital
Yeah.
market.
Because that's definitely an underexplored.
Very underexplored, but I'm really looking forward to like selling. Well, first of all, we're I don't know if you've seen, but we're really like getting into the Instagram a lot, and we want to reach a lot of a lot of people, and grow our content, get more of like coherence, and more of like show like we really want to show our team who's behind all the work we do. It's not like, oh, here's
puppies.
Your coffee. Like, oh, here's your coffee, and this is the brand. And so I feel like I'm really wanting to have like a diffusion of showing the coffee pickers, showing what's going on in the farm, and then showing our products, because like I feel like a lot of accounts, well, not criticizing of course, but like they don't show like the real face behind it, and it takes a lot of work, and that work, it's portraying this little bag with the cute branding and all that. So I really want to like show more of like, these are the people that are working hard, that you can get your coffee every morning and really enjoy it. So on that area, but technology wise, you just opened
you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into that. Thankfully,
it's so underexplored, mostly because it's a privilege to have enough or to have enough money and to have the access to someone who's capable of being able to do that for your farm if you're a coffee producer, right? And you guys have the smarts. You're there, Fabiola. I mean, it's the thing that you do. So it's going to be really exciting to see how someone like you comes into this and says, okay, how do we turn this shit on its ass? And it's exciting to do new things, you know, and do it differently, because, you know, this is something else that I want to ask both of you. We have this problem in the coffee industry where the people who consume coffee are very disconnected from your end of the coffee value chain. The majority of Americans that I would ask, where does coffee come from, did not know that it came from a tree. And it would surprise me if that was any different here in Australia. So we have this challenge ahead of us of, we need to be charging more for coffee so that we can pass that, so that we can be paying a fairer price for coffee and paying our workforce in the cafes more. But we have this issue whereby the people who are drinking coffee aren't on board with understanding what is involved in the coffee value chain. So I wonder, is that something that you think you may be able to tackle as a part of your marketing from the farm end?
Yes, we're lucky that we have one of the things my dad always said, it was like from the soil to the cup. So I feel like we really want to embrace that and really show that where the coffee really comes from and why it tastes like it tastes, like why the soil has different minerals and all that make the coffee what you're tasting really unique. Like what we want to like promote the idea that sitting down and drinking a cup of coffee, it's more than just getting your caffeine in the morning, you know. It's more than that. There's so much involved in that cup of coffee, and we really want to portray that with our coffees.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ideas of how you're going to get that to the consumer, or is your messaging, do you think, going to be targeted towards, and I'm totally putting you on the spot here, so if you don't have any answers, you don't have any answers.
Go for it. Like,
do hardship. Do hardship.
Do hardship. I'm a massive advocate of it. But I think what we have as a challenge ahead of us, and it's been something we've been trying to figure out as an industry for a couple of decades now, particularly the last decade, is how do we get the messaging to the consumer? Because we've been trying to tell the consumer about this for quite some time and they don't really care.
Yeah.
So they'll happily pay $1 extra for an IPA per cup.
Yeah.
But the moment you start talking to them about coffee, it's like, no, my cup should not cost me any more than $3 or $3.50.
We have kind of like a same issue here in the country. Like people
really?
pay for like a good cup of coffee here, but they want to go to Starbucks and pay like $4 for like this size of cup with like
with lots of sugar.
Ice. I'm like, why you spend? You know, like there's like a lot of like it's a big problem with like value on coffee.
So I wonder if you've just given me something to think about there, Diego. I wonder if people value sugar more than they value coffee, which is a legitimate question, right?
I think not sure. I think they value more image and branding than.
So they value, is what you're saying, that they value the presentation of the beverage over the quality of the beverage?
Yeah, basically.
Or more than a lot of people. Well, I can share with you that I used to drink my coffee with a lot of milk and a lot of stevia and Splenda and all of that. I think that
all at the same time.
But because I thought about coffee like I can't drink this alone. Like I just can't. It's too bitter, right? It's just
right.
Like taste buds can take it. And then I started drinking more specialty coffee and started to drink my coffee plain without anything. And that's when you start to see it's sweet. Like coffee, specialty coffee is sweet. It has super unique. So I feel like a lot of people, I don't know if they're accustomed to the convenient coffees and don't know that specialty coffee can really taste sweet, and you can really taste strawberries. You can really taste all of that things that you don't need sugar for that. So
how do you think we convince the general public of that? Because, you know, when you're looking at a venti unicorn fucking latte, right?
Latte.
So when you're looking at that, where a unicorn, it literally looks like a unicorn has pooped on the top of your frappe.
Yeah, frappe.
$8.
And it's $8. How do you approach the marketing of something like that? Can we compete, do you think, Fabiola?
I don't know if you could compete, but you can defend.
Ooh.
And you can defend yourself with a very good point. Like, especially coffee is sweet, you know, like, because like you can compete because like people buying those types of coffees, like sometimes they're like what, like teenagers, and it's like a few people that drink a unicorn frappe latte but there are people.
My friend, you can walk around San Diego whenever they've released those things, and it is near on embarrassing the number of people that are drinking them. I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna do as an industry to battle this? How can we convince you? Sorry, Diego.
The whole US is like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it has to do also with lifestyle, that they're more of convenience. Like I'm heading late, so I'm just gonna grab the first Starbucks I see, the first Dunkin' Donuts I see, or any convenient coffee shop. I don't know if it has a lot to do with that.
It's a lifestyle.
Or that humans are genetically addicted to sugar. I don't know.
Right.
which is
maybe it's a lifestyle thing. Like we as humans now are like always on the rush and always on the go. So like
Right.
and good things take time. Like, maybe that's why those things are always more popular, because they're more convenient, they're faster.
Yeah. And they're prettier and
Hmm.
they're tastier. I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, when you're looking at a beverage like that, it's bigger. It's like usually massive. And, something that I'm hearing from Americans that are here at the moment, they find it difficult to understand why we don't have cups the size, like our largest cup would be a 12 ounce.
Yeah.
Americans' largest cup is 22 ounce.
Yeah. Like fast food chains in the US, like I'm amazed at the
It's
like
astonishing.
upgrades. Yeah, it's so distorted. It's scary.
What's it like in El Salvador?
I feel like it's not like the US, but like they're getting bigger. Like fast food here is really popular, so like yeah, sizes are going up.
So are people likely to grab a coffee that's in a 12 ounce cup or in an 8 ounce cup? How would they grab a coffee?
Right now, I've seen a trend of 8 and 12 ounce, those two. So they're getting similar.
And what's in general, how do people drink coffee? Is it really dark roasted or is it specialty, a lighter roast? Is it with lots of cream and sugar?
Culturally, I would say a lot of cream and sugar.
A lot
Of cream, a lot of sugar. Yeah.
and instantaneous, that's what I call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instant coffee.
Think coffee with like
Instantaneous.
a lot of sugar.
Instant
Hey, I
coffee.
knew what you meant. That's my sister says it's my responsibility to talk and it's your responsibility to understand. So it worked there.
But it's the same thing, that it's available in the supermarket, it's available in like little stores like everywhere in the country, so it's like easy, you can do your coffee, putting hot water and just mixing it in, you get your caffeine of the day.
But I think the trend here, I would say like people our generation are getting more aware of coffee, and you see more coffee shops opening. People are asking you, hey, I want this grounded for like a V60 or a Chemex, or can you give me a Chemex, please?
Oh, wow.
So like it's starting to shift here. So it's really exciting. So you gotta like hop on that wave, let's say. But it's starting to change. Younger people are starting to be more educated on coffee, which is really exciting.
And it seems that there's an opportunity for you guys as such young producers to be the connecting factor in with the consuming end of the value chain and the soil end of the value chain.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that you will start to look at how you can bridge that gap and talk directly to consumers?
I would, one of the projects I have in mind is also creating our own brand here.
That's awesome.
We really want, because like there's a lot of coffee shops interested. Well, I think 2-3 coffee shops locally buy our coffee, but that's a really huge step because they're betting on our coffee and they're giving really good quality to consumers. So if we either we directly sell to
It's so cute. He's like, for anyone who's just listening, another puppy has joined the podcast and is just sitting on the couch. It's fantastic. It's awesome.
I love it. So yeah, if we would love to create our own brand here, but we would also love to people go to coffee shops here and sit down and enjoy a really good cup of coffee. And our job here is to talk to the coffee shop, because those are the ones that are going to buy our coffee, and clients are going to go to that coffee shop.
Yeah.
So that's like the hardest task, to convince the coffee shop, like, hey, you can pay these high prices and the coffee's going to sell. But I think that's the hard part, not just they're settled down to what they've always bought and that's what people are going to buy. We need to convince these coffee shops, like, hey, this is really good, give it a try. And so I feel that that's the task we have locally, so we can bring awareness for specialty coffee.
Will you guys release your own roasted coffee brand?
I would love to. Something we're
That's actually a good what if.
That's a what if.
That's a what if.
I feel like I'm in a coaching session here.
Yeah.
No, the reason I say that is because one thing that COVID has pushed all of us to do is reinvent ourselves, right?
Yeah.
The old model is is gone for everything. And it's why I'm so excited that you guys now get to come into this with fresh eyes, having not been in business before. In business now much younger and earlier than you expected to be, having to adapt to a completely changing world. You get to make the rules yourself now.
Yeah.
And so what's exciting is that you guys can decide, because for a lot of people, direct to consumer has been a big part of their new model. So I wonder, and I know friends of mine who are producers around the world have started creating their own roasted coffee brands. Yeah. Technology is great because you can just set up a website and have people subscribe and you just send it out and it's local.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's one of the things I did have in mind.
Excellent. Excellent.
But now I'm having the reassurance that it's not.
Oh, it's a great idea.
But also, like you told me this morning, like she also wants to, like, I mean, after, but like expand like other products with our coffee, maybe like other treats. Also, that's really
fun fact. I'm an indoor cycling instructor. That's a fun fact. So
did not know that.
So one of the things I've been thinking about, like releases like protein butters, like almond butter with coffee. So I'm thinking about all of that for the future. And yeah, so that's one of like little projects I've been thinking about.
Amazing.
And working on for our coffees. So we start that locally exposure.
Continue so you sit at the front of a room and yell at people.
Yes, I yell at 6 a.m. Come on, everyone, left, right. You can do this. 1, 2,
She's even got a little dance, Diego.
I've been to 2 of our classes, and yeah.
Only 2, bro?
Only 2.
You're like, no, you're good at this, and this is not my thing.
I've been doing it for 2 years, so he's been to 2 of my classes.
His commitment is 1 a year.
1 a year, yeah.
But that's really interesting that you say that you're looking at ways to innovate through food with your coffee. There are people who I know that have had to look at a lot of the things that are going on their farm and repurpose a lot of the produce that they've got in very creative ways so that it doesn't go to waste, so that they've been combining it with their coffee. Either through fermentation or through packaged food products and selling it that way. So, I mean, this is such an exciting time, particularly for, I don't mean to keep saying that you're so young, but it is such an advantage for you because you are much more open than had you have started doing this in 20 years.
Yeah.
So not knowing the rules is going to play to your advantage. And it's exciting to see. I hope nobody gets in your way and says, no, you can't do it this way. And I hope that if they do, you turn around and say, bitch, watch me. Exactly like that.
Just because you said that, I'm going to do it.
Just say, get a t-shirt that says, Lee said, I can tell you, bitch, watch me. It's got to be important though, right? Like that you guys get the opportunity to try things the way that you want to try them rather than the way that things came before you. Your father was, he was clear that you guys were going to do this. So you should have the opportunity to do it the way that you want it. And I think that the link that's been missing for us at the consuming end, to try and get the consuming public to understand that there's a whole value chain involved in coffee, not just, it doesn't just magically appear from fairies and end up in the hopper. There's hundreds of people involved before it gets to us in getting this coffee to you. So yeah. Now, before we wrap up, what is it that you're excited about learning about the industry and getting involved in the industry?
A lot.
Yeah?
Good question.
Well, I'm really excited if we have the opportunity to go to the World of Coffee Expo in Greece.
In 10 years when it happens? Because it's not happening in Greece.
But I don't know, meeting a lot of people and just getting to know their perspectives on I'm really interested in getting to know. Well, I knew like a lot of coffee friends my dad knew, but I'm interested to have conversations with all these people and really get to, because I really like to learn about new cultures. So I feel like also this business opens up to other people and other cultures, and I'm really interested in those conversations. What about you, Diego?
I'll say something. I'm looking forward like learning more about other people culture because it's such a global industry. So it's going to be cool to meet people from other countries, learn and innovate with them and through them. I think that's going to be really really cool and good stories.
I think our industry is lucky to have you.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that our industry is lucky to have both of you, and it's a real opportunity for our industry to have you as young as you are and as ready as you are to step into, sure, an extra large shirt, but you can put on a different shirt.
Yeah. I can rock it.
We can cut it. We can
You
cut
can
it.
cut it, turn it into a dress. You don't have to get bigger to fit the shirt. And in any way that we can help support, we're here for it. So how can people get in contact with you if they want to know more about your coffee and get samples from you? What's the process to do that, by the way?
I think we've been really successful with Instagram, basically.
Okay.
So at Los Pirineos Coffee, that's the best way, right?
Yeah, we both manage the account, so
Yeah.
we're really on top of those messages all the time. And then we send my brother. He's the one more in contact with the samples and knowing what processes or what varieties the client is interested in, and he then communicates with the people at the farm, and that's the chain. So yeah, so send DMs.
Perfect.
Instagram.
We'll include a link in the show notes anyway, so that for the audio and the video version of the podcast. Awesome. It was such a pleasure to chat to you guys. Thank you for coming on the show.
And before you leave, we have our mom here.
Hello. Hi. No, put it back. Put it back. Hi, it's so lovely to meet you. I can't hear her.
Hello, how
Come
are
here.
you?
Yeah, here.
Come. It's so it's so lovely to meet you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
I was sitting right beside Gilberto when he had the podcast with you.
Oh man, you just got me so emotional.
I was there really, and I was telling him sit
up. Because remember that he kept leaning back on the couch. He kept leaning back in the. You would see, guys, what I said, behind every successful person is a stronger human.
Yeah.
I was there. That was around May.
Yeah.
May?
Yeah.
We were here locked in our house.
And he was talking about the black swan, and he was talking about, he was so open and vulnerable in that conversation about how challenging the times ahead were, but still also so positive. And, we were going to be fine. And I remember hearing the news and I couldn't believe it. There was just no way that is what happened. Yeah. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah. We both got sick, but
really,
his condition got worse. Yes, we got sick at the same time. We got the virus.
How did you get the virus? I thought you guys were in lockdown.
We were in lockdown, but Gilberto used to go to the farm.
Wow.
I used to go to the market, like the basic stuff you do.
Yeah.
But we were not like really going out. We were really, for me, it was almost a lockdown.
Oh, right. So the essentials you still went out for, I mean.
The basics.
And it was still so early. Nobody had any immunity. It was really, really early on.
Yeah, it was still, it's a rough time.
Yeah. What are you, you've got these amazing kids the three of you have this mammoth task ahead of you. How are you feeling about what's ahead?
Well, you just said they're young, and they have that as a plus,
Full of energy.
because when Gilberto began this, he was not his age. Their
How
age.
old was he when he started?
He began really into this when he was 40, 45, I would say.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So imagine Diego 26, Fabiola 23, 22.
Wow, 22. I mean,
So-
it's a big thing to carry on your shoulders, right?
Yes, it's a big thing because right now they're learning and I'm behind them. I am not into, because they don't want to have me in their office.
Guys, come on now, let's get another t-shirt that says Mum rules.
They are strong and they're doing everything.
And we're all here to support them
Thank you.
in everything that they need. We're here for the encouragement and for the connections, whatever you guys need, you know, we're here for it. And I just think it's such a testament to exactly what, you know, coffee producers are about, that you guys have just stepped in and decided this is going to happen.
Yeah.
They need to continue moving the farm, moving everything.
Yep. So
There's
good luck with everything. It's going to be great. It's going to be massive. I hope that I get to meet the three of you somewhere in the Middle East, if we ever get to do a conference over there or something like that.
Here in Salvador, yeah.
You're welcome to come.
I can't leave this country right now, but I can't wait till I can. Because if you leave, they're not letting you out here. So, you know, the other part of that, I was telling you guys before about what it's like to come back. You have to have a special exemption just to leave the country.
And then to come back again. And
If you can't prove that you live somewhere else, they're not letting you leave here.
wow. Yeah.
So what is it like in El Salvador? Are you allowed to come and go however you want?
Yeah, you just gotta do the PCR test. That's all.
Okay. But that's it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No quarantining, nothing?
No, nothing.
Is COVID still going crazy over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I was telling the kids, we have a normal life here.
Yeah, it's insane. You have concerts.
We have concerts. We have all our restaurants are open. Cafes are open. We don't wear masks in the streets. Supermarkets have no masks, nothing.
Yeah.
It's normal life here. And we have 0 community transmissions for 8 weeks.
Wow.
0 transmissions.
Props to Australia.
Hey, you know, we're in all, like, let's get some perspective on it. There's 24 million people in this country.
Yeah.
And it's the size of, almost the same size as America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more manageable here than it is in other places. And Australians are more compliant people than most other countries. So when the government says, hey, listen, we need to do this to keep each other safe, Australians are like, okay, we look after each other.
Yeah, that's really, that's huge.
It makes a big difference. In America, put on a mask, bitch. I don't know who you think you are. And then they pull out their gun and they're going to show you. It's a whole different ball game over there.
It's
Fabiola knows, she's from Texas. Well, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to the next time we get to chat. Once again, I'm really, really devastated for your loss, but I'm very excited for your future. And if in any way we can help with anything, we're here for it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleased to meet you.
It's such a pleasure to meet you all. And I'll talk, look behind you. Puppy wanted to come in and say goodbye. See you later, guys. Okay. You're going to show us the other puppy?
We have 5 more puppies.
They have 5 puppies?
These are the dad and the mother.
Oh, no wonder she's chilling. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's the father.
My God. How cute.
Oh, wait, here it comes more.
How do you get anything done with all of these puppies? Oh my God. Okay, so I'll give you my address and you can put one of them in the mail and send it to me. Oh my God, how gorgeous. Oh,
Oh, wait.
If you're
Okay,
listening to the podcast and not,
There's
oh
more.
no, stop. This is too much cuteness. What are you going to do with them?
Sell them.
Well, you got to make those bank payments, right?
Fabiola wants to keep them all.
Oh, no, not going to happen, because who's going to feed them and how are you going to feed them? Wow.
I think they're hungry now.
Awesome. We're gonna say goodbye on the podcast. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Peace, love, and peanut butter, everyone.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.